but this kid plays out of his mind. I mean, what are the stats on him? 11 tackles, I think. I think him and Bullard both had 11. He had 4 tackles for loss. Out of your mind, good game, and it goes unnoticed because they get the loss and all these other things, and really you just couldn't get any rush up front. So let's check this game out. So numbers issues, okay? Very simple. You've got 6 in the box. Yes, you have Xavier's walking down. Yes, they're closer to the line of scrimmage. Yes, you have an overhang. You have a 6 in the box with the 2 tight end look. So 12 personnel. You've got 7 across the line of scrimmage. You got 6 in the box. And this is forever going to be problematic. And one of those deals where you're going, schematically, what are we trying to accomplish here if you're the Packers? This is a very easy blocking. So they do a great job of just doing kind of the nod off of the tight end to get Rashawn Gary to hesitate a little bit. Doesn't really matter. Kenny Clark wins the one-on-one, and Aaron Jones runs right by him, right? And these things kind of happen because he's fighting pressure, but it's just unfortunate because now he's free to go into the safety, and it's a good way for them to start off with a 7-yard gain. We go under center play action pass, something that we talked about, I think, ad nauseum when we talked about the Minnesota Vikings. So under center play action. And one thing they did early on is they said, okay, we're just going to fire Cooper and we're going to try to create 5v5 because we figure if we have enough one-on-one matchups and, you don't know if they're going to keep the tight ends in, are they going to chip them? Are they going to stay? Blah, 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 blah. But we want to try to free up as many guys for one-on-ones as they can because they think they could win. They didn't. And that's, one of the main reasons why you lose. But you bring that guy out and now your backside backer, Eric Wilson, we've got man on the outside. He's got to go cover that tight end who chipped out. And again, this doesn't seem like a big play, but it's a first down play. You're 2nd and 3, and one thing about the Minnesota Vikings is they don't need chunk plays to win games. They can go down the field. They've proven it all year. They proved it last week. They proved it this week. And there's so many 2nd and 3s, 3rd and 3s that they convert. And the reason they convert a lot of them is because you feel like you have to fire your gun to create pressure for the quarterback, but now you put that other guy in a bad position, whether it's zone and you just find Darnold's finding the space, or they have to go man and they find the free release. Easy pickings. You go under center here. Again, you got a light box. And this kid, you can't really talk enough about. Listen, the kid's just, I think when my initial scouting report, I just called him a war daddy, man. This kid is just a football player. He's crazy good. So that suddenness you don't teach that. Kid's got it, man. Thank your parents. Whatever that is, he's got it. I don't have it. He's got it. So we walk up in the A gap. We got shotgun, and you just got time. And so you finally get to him, and this doesn't look like a big deal, but you can't have this. So you got 2 guys that get a shot on Sam Darnold, and this is a 3rd down play, and they don't convert it. And it doesn't matter if they kick the ball from the 45 or kick the ball from the 45 going in. It doesn't matter. But what matters is the quarterback gets hit and takes the sack and has to feel it and understands that there's a timer on him and there's a consequence to it. Maybe the ball gets knocked out. You can't have this. You miss him. You miss him twice, really. He gets a short completion. They punt the ball away, live to fight another day, okay? And why does it happen? So they run the pick game with Kenny. But this is what I'm talking about. And we talk about this with Rashawn Gary all year long. You're at level already. That is the backup tackle. That's not Christian Darrisaw. And he goes over the top. He doesn't bull through the guy. He doesn't make Sam Darnold just feel that, that's number 74 is 320 pounds going in, into his side. He goes over the top of him. Wooten's over there working his ass off. And so, Rashawn's like, oh, I almost had him. It's like, you would have had him if you just bull through him. And for whatever reason, it's just been really hard to get them to do that. And I just tell you, for the perspective of an offensive lineman, you're doing me a favor when you did what you did. What would have killed me is if I'm 2 yards away from the quarterback and you run through my face. That's the one that's hard. So you got 7 guys on the line of scrimmage here. You go motion. This is a 5-second throw for a first down on a second, another short, a short one conversion, 7 to 9 yard gain. 5-second throw. Javon Bullard's a rookie in the National Football League. He's playing as TJ Hawkinson, one of the better tight ends in the league. And you want him to play defense for 5 seconds. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Under center. Play action. This is a house call. Now the safety, to go back, I know this play isn't completed. Let's watch why this happens, though. They're favoring Justin Jefferson. So you got one-on-one on the other side. And a game could have been worse. I think they ended up punting this ball away. There's always these what ifs, but sometimes we say, oh, it's 27, it was a close game and this and that. There's a lot of things that happen in football games. A lot of things can change. The context of the game matters. The context of the moment matters. And stuff like this, you got to look at this play and go, this isn't just woulda, coulda, shoulda. You got to learn from it. He throws a better ball. It's a touchdown. Look at the time. Now, they do finally flush him with his chest to the sideline. This is something we talked about in the pregame. If you let him step forward, he throws darts. You put him to the sideline, he cannot throw the ball far downfield. He throws the ball out of bounds. It's just not as comfortable. This is not the kind of dynamic quarterback that can run to his right and throw back to his left. This is what you should have been doing the entire time. And if you press the pocket from the outside and collapse it and he has to exit above like CJ Stroud does every week, like CJ Stroud's one of the guys that can run to his right or run to his left and throw downfield. Sam Darnold's just not one of those guys. So you have to have a pass rush plan. Eric Wilson. Watch what this does. This all the different motion does to this run defense. Just back, forward, oh, shoot. It just doesn't have a real good sense of where the ball is. Footwork's all jacked up. Ends up making the play, but that's one of the plays that when we talk about Quay for the last 4 years is, hey, we don't want you to get blocked where you're standing at 5-6 yards and then have to make a tackle for 8. We want you to try to tackle line of scrimmage. But all the window dressing that they're doing, Minnesota Vikings, all of that action, all the problems they've had in under center play actions, all of that adds up to we're not trusting our eyes maybe as much as we need to. We go gun 2x2 here. We got kind of a nasty look on the upside, and they go motion across the trips. We're going to fire the corner because they can't get enough pressure. But when you fire a guy from here and we can see him coming, Darnold just throws to where he was. Easy completion, first down. And that's the kind of stuff, and it's like textbook. So, Minnesota just, to their credit, they did have a lot of answers, I think, when you just look strictly at schematically what was going on in this football game. One thing I was thinking about yesterday was, if I'm game planning this defense, who am I game planning against? So you obviously go through, okay, what's the history of the coordinator? What do they like to do in these certain situations? What do they do on first down, on third down, et cetera? But one thing that I just know from experience is who blows up your game plan? Who screws? Warren Sapp blows up your game plan. John Randall blows up your game plan, right? Those kind of guys are guys you have to game plan for, or you have a real problem. And usually listen, I'm sure they game plan for Ed Reed too. But usually those guys are kind of close to the line of scrimmage because you're talking about really good athletes that are really close to the quarterback. Who is that on this football team? When you're game planning and there's not a guy where you're like, oh, we really got to worry about so-and-so, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, those types of players. We thought that was what Rashawn Gary was going to be. When you don't have to game plan for that guy, this is pretty easy. I mean, it's standard deviation or easier than if you have to go holy hell, if we don't put 2 hands on this guy every play, we're in a lot of trouble. Now, I'm asking, watching this kid in a number of games this year, and he's not perfect, and he's got some, sometimes your instincts are wrong when you're young. Sometimes you're slow to read something, out with some eye candy. But just as a player, I think he's established himself as, at least in that box, he's the guy. Like, he's the alpha. I'll bet you. I'm guessing it's not going to be too long till he's running like the pregame breakdown. You know what I mean? Like, he's that guy who's talking in the breakdown instead of one of these vets. If it's not happening already, it's probably coming up pretty soon. And I'm wondering if he's the game plan guy, because he just seems to be a lot better than everybody else. He just shows flashes every week now where you go, okay, well, he's different. He's a different kind of football player. So, and again, it's one of those things where, we're watching this somewhat chronologically, and you go, all right, obviously you have to pick some of these plays out, but it wasn't that hard to find where Cooper just makes a play in the run game, tackle for loss, tackle for a yard gain, whatever. And then we got one of these where we show split safety, then we come down, we're really just playing quarters up top here, but they're playing quarters, and they press it up, and they just leave this monster gap on the backside. Usually in this situation, they're trying to look for the 3-by-1, and they might poach this guy on the other side. They're not doing that, and they just leave that space wide ass open. Of course, Donald's got enough time to throw, can plant his feet and put it in there. It's just too easy. Under center again. Really interested in bringing Cooper, trying to create some of that pressure, right? I don't know if they sense that something's happening. This is going to be an under center look. I mean, certainly the motion, the position of the tight end suggests they're not going split flow here. So I don't know if this is a check, but they're just going to very simply, Sam Darnold's going to throw it to where he was, or maybe where he would be in this drop. So they just run the in. There's no underneath window he has to throw through, and this turns out to be a PI. So Mike, you're showing me an incompletion. Well, PI 15 yards. You guessed it, guys. Another run, another Edgerrin Cooper. Tackle for loss, tackle for no gain. The instincts, the speed, the awareness, really, the time that it takes for him to see something and do it compared to the other guys in this room on this team is the gap is continuing to separate. You look at an Isaiah McDuffie. Wilson's had a great year, and he's different. He's like Fred Warner. It's like look, go. Right? You see it. He doesn't have to be antsy. He just go. And some of these other guys are pressing and reading on their way. He's like, that read and react is ridiculous fast. And he's out athleting guards. He's not having to really take on too many guys. He understands angles. That's something that you really don't know if he's going to be able to do until you get to the league, and he can do it well. Pass rush plan. Why do we have multiple people above Sam Darnold? You cannot tackle Sam Darnold if you're 2 yards, 3 yards past the pocket. It's just, we've talked about this all year. It comes back to bite you. It's hard to understand what the thought process is, knowing that this guy is not a guy who likes to escape outside to his right or left and throws well on the run. The game before, we showed it on our tape, he throws downhill, running, escaping the pocket north and south. He throws incredibly well. And so this is just a simple step up. There's no pressure, easy completion for a first down. I just wanted to show this. It's just to show like how difficult it is to play in the National Football League. You look at every other person is kind of blurred because they're going in motion. You see Cooper's downhill. Now they're running a stunt on the backside, to be fair. Isaiah McDuffie's going to get to his leverage spot outside the tight end. And Wilson's like a half step slow here. And because he's a half step slow, guard gets up, blocks him, they're through, first down, on their way to a touchdown. And it's literally that simple. It's every second, it's a half step. I mean, that's how tough it is to play in this league. He just didn't read that quite fast enough. Shotgun, 2x2 again. Just a great seam throw, honestly. Sometimes, you play football and it's like, that was a hell of a throw, in that situation. Now, obviously, we talked about this in our pregame show. They love to run a ton of deep routes, right? 15 yards or more. And when you do that and you don't have these intermediate routes, and then you do these little checkdowns down on the 45 here, or 40, what is that, the 47? You create, because that 15 yards of separation between the two receivers, vertical separation. I mean, the Packers defender on the 40, like, what's he going to do? There's no way to be right here. And this is a 3rd and 2 or a second and 3. This is not a situation where they're just running sticks or anything like that. Or, these are because you are constantly, always call this being in front of the 6, right? This just means that you're always in like an advantageous down, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. It's not 3rd and 12, it's not 2nd and 9. Because of that, you have the ability to run all these deep routes, and you can, you're not getting any pass rush from the Green Bay. You can run all this stuff, create this vertical separation, and put this defender in a place where he can't be right. There's just so much space and time. So yeah, you're like, hey, great checkdowns, first down. That's just all that is a first down completed play. And you can say, oh, were they trying to go big? And this, no, all they're trying to do is get a first down. That's it. It's that simple. So we're going to fire Cooper here again. Pick everybody up, throw to where he could have been. Almost the exact same look on the in cut. We saw it 6 plays ago. And now you start thinking maybe they're reading their mail. So we motion across, and we fire everybody from the backside. Nixon's just hoping he gets this. But now you're in a 3x2 situation. Really difficult. Justin Jefferson's got the football. Another first down play. Really good block, actually, by Addison. Go under center. Play action. And, guys, this is the job description. You got to win one-on-ones. And, obviously, what is the reason you run play action? Well, there's a couple major reasons that you run under center play action pass. One, for the majority of the offensive line, it's easier to run because you can be aggressive with your cell. It takes the pass rush thought process away from the defensive line. Your timing's better. The reads are easier. So all of this is advantageous. Not as many people do it as they used to, but these guys are masters at it. But you got to be able to pick up something from the stances, the formations, the splits, something as a defensive lineman. That's part of the job description. To be able to win some of these. And Carl Brooks won a couple. Reps, certainly. Won a couple. But again, where is that guy that you're going, we're going to win? This guy's going to win 70% of the time. It's just a question of whether he gets his hands on the quarterback or not. But he's going to win the rep 70%. Where is that guy? How are we going to develop that group of guys? Because I think you have the talent. The guy that gets the most pressure here is guess who? Edgerrin Cooper, out on the right tackle. I mean, and Javon Bullard, you got this. No, you can't have that much time to throw the football with a receiving crew as good as they are. It's just, you can't do it.